All right, I think we are rolling here, and it says we are live. This is the first time I go live on YouTube, strictly and directly from my Ecamm app. Usually from my Ecamm app, I have various keys and passwords and destinations in which we launch and we stream. But for project purposes and seeing which direction we go forward in the future, I wanted to try YouTube directly and see how that goes. Stefan Maya with you. addedsouls.com is the website. Friends, it's good to have you along. We are going to have ourselves a discussion. We're going to share some thoughts together, you and I, in regards to quote unquote spilled milk moments in life. Moments that could cause inconvenience, frustrations, um, things of that sort, right? Things that we typically say, it's the common tongue would say it's not the end of the world, Don't allow that to get you flustered up or to ruin your day. Don't cry over spilled milk. And that's kind of how that goes. And we want to talk about that as Christians because we do come across daily, if you will, moments in which test our patience or the direction of our day, seeking to bring forth more a discouraging or negative emotion out of us during the day when these spilled moments come about. Friends, if you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing, hitting that notification bell, dropping a comment down there, share the link far and wide. Maybe others out there like you and I would find value in the substance of the information we share and we create in this content. I labor alongside the East Coast Church of Christ over here on the East Coast of Canada. You can check out the .com, eastcoastchurchofchrist.com. You can also check out our Facebook page, East Coast Church of Christ. We upload over there our weekly sermon sessions and stuff like that. So let me, if you will, just give me a few seconds here as I'm looking at the stream and I want to see if it's operational and how one, because this is new to me. I'm looking at the, if you will, on my desktop, the landing controls and panel of the YouTube stream. And so this is a bit new to me, but it seems quite straightforward, if you will. Let's say if I go to my channel, if you go to the channel, if you're at the channel, well, then let's see if we can pick up a link and share the link. I want to see if I can do that. So I'm going to go to Stefan Ashmaye, my channel. And there it is. It says, Dealing with Spilled Milk, Moments in Life. Yep, that's what we want. We see the thumbnail there. Can I capture those three little dots? It says share. Yeah, let's do that. Copy the link so I can go ahead and share it on other social media platforms and perhaps capture some friends that want to join us. So let's go to Facebook. Facebook is a location where we have a pretty strong following. We have our biggest platform actually as a Facebook page. That's where I began and created and began the Added Souls ministry. And so we have a Facebook page called Added Souls over there, and it has over 90,000, I think, followers and reaches in the millions each week, stuff like that. So it's a pretty large location, if you will, for our content. And we have had to go through many challenges throughout the years, no doubt, because of the nature of our content being more so a conservative Christian perspective. Yet we try to the best of our ability to have a balanced approach. At times we may miss the mark on that one. At times we may hit the bullseye. But yeah. All right. So let me see here. Let me share it on my personal profile on Facebook. See if it pops up as a link. Yeah, it does. All right, let's just say that we are live. Oop, wrong button. Wrong button, dude. All right, live on my YT channel. Channel. Can't even spell channel anymore. Okay, channel. There. And let's see what happens with that. If we click copy, so then I have the link available and I can share it there. Hope your day's going well. This is Saturday, isn't it? I don't know. I lose track at times. I do believe we are Saturday, though. It is Saturday. Easter week, right? Or weekend. Easter weekend. You do the Easter thing. We do the get the chocolates. That's what we do. That's our participation in Easter weekend. We get some chocolates for the kids, All right, a few other locations. We also, of course, as the church, have a wonderful fellowship meal this coming Sunday. We have a fellowship meal every Sunday. We hang out together. We're actually friends. Could you imagine it? The people you go to church with, the people you are the church with, being friends and united, healthy and growing. Isn't that a beautiful thing? All right, let me see here. I'm going to go to a few other pages and share that link, and we'll get involved with this whole spilling the milk thingy. Because I'm telling you, and I speak this out of experience in my own life, my prior life, before following Jesus, and now following Jesus since June 26, 2011, and how I've had to train my mind, and still till this day, I'm very tempted at times to just lose patience and just have a knee-jerk outburst of anger or a display of how should I say, lack of or loss of self-control. And it's very tempting. I mean, some of us come from that kind of a background, and we've had to train our thoughts and train ourselves to be civil, to be mature, to be reasonable, to be able to subdue the emotional temptations to lash out or to have a brash or heavy-handed application and stuff like that. We've had to learn those things. Now, I tell you, with this life, dealing with banks, dealing with insurance companies, dealing with life and maturity and priorities and just the to and fro, paying taxes, stuff like that. We want to be sure we can do so in a Christ-like manner, because we should. That's the difference with Christians. We are called out from the way the world does things, and we are quite unique. And we're supposed to be. I know, right? We're supposed to be quite unique, and we're supposed to do stuff that is commendable, that is honorable, that is upright, that is decent, right? Stuff like that. And it can be very challenging to keep that composure, to be temperate, to have all the wonderful attributes of our Lord and Master, and to learn them well and to practice them well, so that when we come face to face with very challenging moments, we can spiritually, organically, immediately deal with them and persevere through them without resorting to the world's ways, which is usually unrighteous violence or verbal intimidation or threats, things that would be, again, not productive in a civilized society, where we have to deal with each other and learn to live with each other throughout all the differences we have. Most certainly in a free, quote unquote, free is subjective to certain discussions, free society, right? We have to learn how to tolerate or have long suffering, suffer long with our fellow neighbors, and have patience with our fellow neighbors, though they may have different religious worldviews or may have different practices and personalities. We have to learn how to function with the ebb and flow of those moments, those challenges. All right, so that's streaming. Let me see if I can open up the comment board there just in case that shows up. All right, we'll put ourselves right there. So, yeah, spilled milk moments. That, of course, stems in my mind, and I may be wrong, but from my memory in mind, we were told these things a long time ago when we were this little bitty little children. We were little children. And as little children, we would at times, make a mess. You're at the table, you're with a 2-year-old. The 2-year-old's trying to pick up the milk, cuppy, sippy, cuppy, and the thing just falls and splash. There's milk everywhere, Is it time to throw a fit and have a core traumatic memory for the child? How dare you? You're grounded. No, obviously, what do? We say, oh, an accident occurred. Let's clean the mess. Now, you don't want to make it out to be a game, because the 2-year-old, the 3-year-old, the 4-year-old will make that like a game. Oh, I get to push this cup of milk and make a mess, and Mommy and Daddy clean it up. They must be the maid. They must be the robots that clean everything around. No, we're not going to be tolerating that game. But the first occurrence, even to the second perhaps, or whatever, right? If it's an accident, it's an accident. However, and I have opinions about accidents, by the way. There is indeed a category of the accident description that may be out of one's control, or maybe, but to a great bulk of content, like case per case, the accident was a lack of prudence, perhaps. You weren't paying attention. That's why accident happened, right? Ignorance, not allowing your faculties to engineer the proper reaction or action, or at times that's what happens. If you're going up and down the stairs and you can't see where you're going, you got your hands full of this, hands full of that, you're setting yourself up for an accident. Right? So there's some conversation to be had regarding accidents and the spilled milk department. I want to share, of course, the reason, the purpose, the motivation here for this session, if you will, this impromptu session. Was a spilled milk episode in our household just a few days ago. A spilled milk moment in our household where you want to flip out. You see the injustice of it all. It's one of the occurrences. Okay, so there's two occurrences that happened in the same day in the Maye household here a few days ago. One in which it's not your fault, right? But it aggravates you. It's inconvenient. And we get all flustered with inconvenience, right? So it was inconvenient. But the other was an injustice. It was actually a crime. And you have to kind of just roll with it and do what you can do legally to deal with the crime. So, I mean, that's those two things we're going to talk about, and then we'll see how we can hash it out in a way that we Christians should function when those moments occur. And they occur. We Christians are blessed, of course, with the security of eternal salvation in our Lord and Master, Jesus Christ. No doubt. However, it does rain on the just and the unjust, okay? So we are going to have to deal with stuff on this earth, this fallen world, that everyone deals with, whether believers or non-believers. It just is. And crime is something that we become the recipient of in a given moment in our historical timeline, okay? And so we're going to talk about two of those things and see from there forth where we go. The first one, of course, okay. So Mom, like we are prime customers with Amazon, okay? And thus far, throughout the many years, it has treated us well for various items, nothing too outlandish, if you will, just prudent purchases, things we need, okay? We wanted a bag of plastic straws, so we purchased a bag of plastic straws through Amazon. A book, maybe. We want a book. Oh, maybe a little gadget here for expedient purposes that might help us with this or that. Little stuff. So anyways, Mom, she has an account with Amazon, and she orders a $15 book. There was a book she wanted to read, and so she proceeds to go on Amazon and purchases this $15 book from Amazon. And it left, I believe it was Quebec over here in Canada, and was going to make its way to New Brunswick to our address, to which, again, we've been doing this for many years. What happens is the order, the package, is given to delivery services. Sometimes there's a few of them. I don't know the science behind all of that and how one chooses one or the other. I don't know if the company already has their set distributor when it comes to delivering or whatever. But sometimes I'll see a certain company name, like what is it now? Is it Telecom or something like that? They're one I usually identify. I can recognize their vehicles, their van, I think it's in telecom. Then you have various others almost on the Uber side of things, and they bring the package. Like the package leaves the warehouse or wherever it's coming from, and then it's given, of course, to a tracking code. And again, I don't know the science of it all. But here's the thing. Here's where we're landing with it all. It makes its way here to the address of the house through a driver, a delivery service driver, and he rings the doorbell. Like, he takes a picture of the package. Remember, this is a $15 book. Inside, it's not a box. They put it in when it's an item like this. Sometimes they put it in it's like a plastic bag, right? A plastic bag says Prime Amazon on it. So he takes a picture of this bag, this Amazon bag, at the location, because they have to check in and say, hey, listen, I did my part. I did my job as a delivery service. I brought this item right here. Here's a screenshot of it at this address where it's supposed to go. So, that kind of stuff. And I understand the security of it. I understand why that would be done. As he takes the picture, he sets it there. He rings the doorbell to let us know that a package has delivered. It just so happened that my wife was at the door. So she opens the door, takes the package. Thank you. He gets into his van. He leaves. This delivery driver was, what do they call them? I think Sikhs. Is that it? Like, they have like a turban on their head, right? I hope I'm describing that properly. I mean, no disrespect whatsoever. This is solely for descriptive purposes. But a Sikh individual, I think it's how they pronounce it, right? A Sikh, and they have the turban on the head, and it has to do with their religious worldviews and whatnot. And no issues here. Some of them are kind, some of them are not. I mean, human beings of every kind and color, of every location in the world. Some are kind, some are not. Well, anyway, so he gives the package. My wife says, thank you. We close the door. The individual gets into his vehicle, which was, I believe, like a Dodge van, gray-colored Dodge van. And he leaves. He leaves the property, and my wife walks in with the package, and it's like, oh, you got a package. And so she brings the package, I think, to my mother, because it's my mom who ordered the package. And lo and behold, very strangely, listen to this. It's interesting, all of this. Yeah. Okay. So the package, the bag, it's been cut from up to down, and the book that was supposed to be in it is not there. It's just not there. So then immediately you're like trying to process the account, process the situation. Okay, wait a minute now. Didn't you go? I'm speaking to my wife. Didn't you go to the door? Like, the doorbell rang. You were at the door. You opened it up. The individual gave. Yeah, I took it. I brought it in. Like, at no time was I thinking this is an empty bag. And I can understand that. I mean, we don't, like, okay, so I've ordered SD cards. They come in a Amazon bag. It's so small, you wouldn't tell there's something in there. You have to open it up and look. Oh, there's this little SD card for the computer in there. So, we just didn't look in the bag. So she brings it back, and it's like, oh, it's been cut open. Like, somebody took it and cut it open and removed the book from it and just kept going with it. And then, so now it's kind of like, what do we do? Because the driver had just left, we call the service provider, the delivery provider, and immediately it's like if they knew. Like, this is how bad it has gotten in our society. There's a department for theft. There's a they already know the motion of it. Oh, okay, yeah, right. Yeah, this happened. So give me your code. Give me this. Give me this information. We'll set forth an account here and a ticket on your account, and that shows this has happened, so that we can check out with the driver, and we can check out where, trying to pinpoint where it came from. We're going to transfer you now to Amazon, and then you're transferred to Amazon. The same thing with Amazon. Oh yeah, this is a common thing. This happens all the time. Like, it's not a disturbance. It's not a, we need to slow down this crime. No, it's just like, this happens. We have a department for it. People steal. It just is what it is. And we're going to refund your card. So mom gets her $15 back on her credit card. but the item is gone. And then we're looking at the pictures that because the delivery driver has to take a picture of the package at the destination. And we look at the picture and there it is. Like you can see it's cut and it's empty. So then the game is, well, at what moment did an individual choose to steal the thing and steal this book? Like it's okay. What are you going to do with a $15 book that, I don't know, may have been a religious book probably or something. I don't know, whatever. So immediately I'm getting all kinds of emotions with it at that moment because I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Thievery has made its way to our door. Someone stole this package from us. Where did it happen? How did it happen? Why did it happen? We need to extinguish this immediately. We need to walk on this cockroach now. And so, as an individual, of course, who lived a quite crazy past life, for those of you who know me, the immediate reaction is violence. How should I say? Brute force. This is a problem. We cannot allow this problem to happen again. And so there must be justice. Right? It'd be kind of like if it was the delivery driver, then let's make an example out of the delivery driver so that the word of mouth will pass through the community and to all these locations saying, you really don't want to steal these people's packages because, well, consequence. It's a strange word, right? Accountability, consequence. Isn't that a weird words in today's, strange words, offensive words in today's society. Accountability. Oh, consequences. Ooh. Lions and tigers and bear, oh my. Well, we have to, as Christians, be capable of capturing ourselves in control of our minds and just take a breath. It's a deep inconvenience. A crime has taken place, yes. Someone has stolen one of our items we paid for. Okay, what do we do? How does this work? Well, and this is where you insert the insufferables, okay? The inconvenience and the insufferables, the frustration, because there's really not much that's done. It's just like, it happens. Just is what it is. Police officers like, yeah, man, we can't do nothing. We're not gonna. There's nothing to do. We'll never find the individual. Just nothing's gonna happen. You just lost. It just is what it is. Might happen again next time. Who knows? Call the departments. And just, get your money back. Now, it was a good thing that we didn't have to wrestle or fight with the delivery company and Amazon because, again, it happens all the time around the clock around the world where it's just a given now. It might be stolen. So they already are set up to just say, yep, here's your money back. Sorry it happened. Well, what if we go to the source cause of it all by dealing with it justly, in consequence, accountability? Oh, so you're the individual who stole this package? Yeah, so not only are you fired, you're going to jail. What if we did that? Then maybe we'd see, the pie chart change in its statistics, and maybe we'd kind of see people not do that anymore. What a strange concept, right? What a strange concept that would be. But nonetheless, that's not what's taking place. And so it's kind of just like if I was operating this business, like the delivery business or the Amazon business, to me, that's bad for business. Like we're losing money. People are stealing items. We have to pay for that. So we give the customer their money back. We don't even have, because we know it happens so frequently now. Like how about, this is strange. Let's bring back consequences. Let's bring back accountability. So as a Christian, we have to deal with those moments. Do we not? Yeah. We're having an organic conversation here. We're just in a civil, mature manner having conversation here. How do we deal with these things? Well, you cannot utilize unrighteous violence. It did not call for that. To activate violence at this point would be retaliation or a vindictive revenge, which is not permissible in the category and doctrine of our behavioral activities. Jesus would not want us to have that, but Jesus wants us to be legal, upright. He wants us to utilize prudence and wisdom and discernment and defense and everything that is given to us from the liberty we have in Him, which is not vindictive bitterness and or unrighteous violence or retaliation, revenge, things like that. Turn the other cheek, right? Don't utilize unrighteous venues to get back at the individual who stole from you. Now, can you bring them to law? Can there be consequence? Well, yeah, he should. The individual who stole the even though it's $15, a $15 book, okay, it may not be, again, the end of the world to its measurement of consequence. It's not, it's spilled milk to a certain degree, but yet it's a crime, so it must be addressed. Something needs to be done. The individual who stole that should be apprehended. And in today's world, where if you are to say something that you are not allowed to say on these digital platforms, you will immediately be the recipient of consequence with that. So how can it be that with billions of users, we can pinpoint to the most accurate degree, we can pinpoint, oh, you've said an offensive word. Now your account is diminished or flagged, or like we can do that. And I understand the utility of that when it comes to, harm upon people or things like that. Immediately, it's dealt with. You'll have the law enforcement knock on your door and say, hey, you tweeted something that was quite offensive, and we're here to address that immediately. But somehow, all these Amazon packages being stolen from law-abiding citizens who paid for the product, well, we can't find them. It just happens, so we have departments that are just give you your money back, and we're never going to find the individual who did that. Unless, of course, the individual becomes so repetitive and so blatantly public with it, then we're like, well, dude, we would have allowed you to fly under the radar for a while, but now, we have to now we have to do something about it. So that took place, right? And we made the proper calls, but it left an intrusive emotion in the household, in my mind, like theft has made it to our door. I don't like that. I am the head of this household. It is my duty to protect and defend my loved ones within it. And I do not permit thievery so close to my door. So obviously, we've activated other precautions to that end in case things of that nature were to happen again. But I'm just trying to think of it like in an honorable court of law, and you're trying to find the evidence here. Where does this happen? And look at the many hands it may have been transferred to that just took an empty package that had been cut. There's a different visual to the bag. It's been cut from A to Z, like from up to down, and opened, and the pack and the object in there taken out and stolen and given to the next. So you almost land at the delivery driver, almost. And these are just, of course, allegations, but you're trying to reason with what has taken place and how it got to your door. If the item, the product, leaves the warehouse over in Quebec in the bag is intact, no cutting of the bag, no ripping of the bag, the book is in the bag, it's given somewheres to someone, and it had to have the object in there. So at that moment, does that individual who took that, is that the individual who chose to steal that product? And then what, have an empty bag in his hands and give it to the next? Hoping that the next individual is going to take the bag and not even look in the bag or not see that there's a discrepancy in the shape of the bag? Like, how many hands must it take? Like, how many transfers is taking place here with everybody just like... It almost seems statistically that it would have to be the last hand to take the object. It may not be the case. It may just truly be a moment like for instance, my wife just took the bag because we never thought for a moment that it had been cut from top to bottom and that the book inside had been taken. No, just take the bag. And we didn't know we were waiting for a book. My mom did. She's the one who purchased the product. We didn't. We're just picking up the Amazon package here. And if the delivery driver is the thief, Like is he just gonna give that bag that he just stole the product from to the to the residents, to the residential owner? Like, I mean, that's pretty brazen. That's pretty like courageous, if you will, to do that. I mean, look, do you see there's some delinquency somewhere? There's something has happened from departure to arrival. From departure to arrival, something has happened. Oh, I tell you. So that was one of the moments during that day. And there was nothing else that could be done. We made the phone call to the delivery company and to Amazon. They reimbursed my mother, and that was it. Okay, that's what happened there. What do you do with that? Well, you can't dwell on it and allow it to destroy your day, though it did cause some discomforts, let's say, for a few hours, trying to get everything organized in my mind. And because I overthink stuff, I tend to do that. I'm trying to train my mind not to overthink stuff. I've gone a long way from overthinking to now, slowing down on that speed. But a few hours went, and it's like, okay, we did what we could do. We dealt with it accordingly, and we did not lose self-control. We were capable of keeping our composure, maybe a heightened passion to it. Like, what on earth? Like, who does that? Speaking that way. Yeah, obviously I spoke that way. Like, who does that? What's the matter with people today, right? These zombies around us. So that took place. And in the same day, before this moment in the day, a few days ago, before this took place with the whole Amazon package being stolen, we were blessed to have received a Weber 36-inch griddle. Why? Well, because we're a growing and healthy congregation, and we are constantly socializing together. We are friends, and friends, well, we share meals. So, and I love to cook. I'm not a professional. I'm not culinarily inclined, if that's even a... Can you say that? Is that a thing? Can I say that? Culinarily. I'm educated, culinarily inclined. Okay, I've not been educated in the realm of culinary expertise. I just cook food. I like cooking food. I used to cook for my crew back in my past day. You know what I'm saying? But I like to cook. So I love to cook for the assembly. And all of us, of course, share together. We do potluck stuff. And so this beautiful gift came about. Okay, boom, here we have it. A beautiful 36-inch Weber griddle. Man, awesome. So I take the time to cure the griddle plate, or the cooking surface. You got to cure that. You got to season it. How do you do that? Well, you first clean it with water and soap, then you rinse off the soap, and then you dry it off, and then you put on a layer of oil or butter or grease or whatnot. Then you burn it off, and then you repeat the process 3 to 5 times, and you have yourself a beautiful seasoned griddle. You can flip eggs on that, right? Okay, it's non-stick now. So here it is. It's prepared for all things, and we're making hamburgers. Yeah, we're going to make some hamburgers on the griddle. Yay! And the griddle thing's new to me. So this is a new cooking tool that I got to navigate through, and I got to learn how to use the right way with all the different heat and the different cooking styles. So I got hamburgers on the thing. Hamburgers are cooking wonderfully. Take off the hamburgers. There's some oil on the grill, obviously, the grease from the hamburgers. And the thing pops. It pops. What do you mean? The plate, the cooking plate, pops with a loud, abrupt, immediate noise, and it coils, it twists. Like, we have an old cooking pan that I keep because it's seasoned. I keep the same thing. I haven't had it for like 30 years. And you put it into the oven, you're making cookies, right? You're cooking stuff in there, and when you put it in there with the heat, pow! Inside the oven, you'll hear it pop, right? Because it twists. The heat alters its shape. That's what happened to the griddle. The griddle plate, the cooking top, it popped and it twisted like a pretzel. Plop! Scared me half to death. And I'm like, what's going on here? What took place here? This is not right. Oh no, I broke it. That's like the immediate go-to my mind went with. Oh no, I broke it. And I kind of lost patience. I lost patience. I had to chill out, and I had to like take a breath later and be like, guys, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have acted like that. That was not Christian-like to do that. So that's I was able of keeping my composure, yet a bit aggravated, but keep my composure for the Amazon theft incident. But this griddle, my cooking tool, this beautiful gift we had, is broken, and I broke it. I don't know how I broke it. I don't know what happened, but it broke. And it's expensive. It's not as expensive as we thought it would be, but it was expensive, and it's a gift, and it's for the Maye family and the church, and I broke it. So you can see how I was quite discouraged. And I'm a man, so I deal with stuff in a masculine way, and I lost a bit of my control. And I may have thrown my spatula on the ground. That may have happened. And our cooking station is outside. And of course, the family's inside, and they're seeing me flip out to a certain degree. And they're like, what's going on? I said, I broke it. I don't know how I broke it, but I broke it somehow. I made hamburgers, and I don't know it. Well, let's take a breath. Let's not go too far with this. Let's try to keep our Christian composure here. It happens. So I called the company that we got it from. Wonderful, wonderful business here in town called Atlantic Outdoors. It's where we got our snowblower from as well. And so I contact them, and I'm like, this gift we just got, a few days ago. And they're like, yeah. Well, it popped. It did something, and it broke. I don't know what to do. So the nice lady there that works there, she's like, give me a minute. I'm like, okay. So she puts me on hold. She comes back. She's like, yeah, so we're just going to go get that one and give you a new one. And immediately I was like, oh. She's like, it's not your fault. It must have been a dud. It was not tempered properly. It's not a common thing. It's the first time we hear this, but we're not going to mess around with that. It's all warranted anyway. So we're going to go get that old one. Well, not the old one. We're going to get the one that broke, and we'll bring you a new one immediately. Are you home? Yeah, I'm home. Okay, we're going. And they did. The delivery driver showed up. He's like, hey, so we meet again a few days later, right? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened. It happened. Let me bring the broken one. We'll send it back to Weber. They're going to have their scientist in the lab figure out what took place here, and we're just going to give you another one, a brand new one. Here you go. So it was kind of like I felt silly because I allowed my emotions to get the best of me when it happened, and I started blaming myself like, I'm a failure. I can't do anything right. Okay, well, maybe not to that degree, but a frustration, an insufferable inconvenience took place, and it's my fault, I thought. No, it happened. I guess it just happened. And I felt silly because I'm like, God loves us so much, and he teaches us how to have the right kind of behavior, the right kind of reaction to stuff, and there I went. I lost patience, and I may have acted unchristian-like for a few moments, right? Just losing patience outside with myself. And I shouldn't do that because it affects my wife, it affects my parents, it affects my children. Now, again, it was not a full-on meltdown, let's burn everything down to the ground, and no. But it was, I think, I probably crossed the line a little bit, and I let that take the best of me, and I shouldn't have. It got the best of me. I shouldn't have done that. So I felt silly. Then I explained to the family later, and they're like, yeah, it happens. Everybody here, of course, loves each other. We're a family. We can deal with stuff like this. In the grand scheme of things, here's where we're at. In the grand scheme of things, it's spilled milk. Really? Is anybody hurt here? Did anyone lose their life? No. Are we in any kind of imminent danger or threat of losing our life? No. Then it's spilled milk. And it'll be fine, and we'll be okay. Let me do something here. And friends, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please consider giving a thumbs up, hitting the notification bell, if you find any kind of substance and value in just our conversations and the content we produce, and there are a great many playlist locations, you can see how we are categorized. We go live from Monday to Friday, right? And we have podcast sessions, and at times we upload all sorts of stuff. You'll see that in our reels, our shorts, our stories. We have all sorts of little things, food and food moments and whatnot. But yeah, if you find any kind of encouragement or joy or education, anything like that, please consider subscribing. Really, the great bulk of viewership, it says in my pie chart thingy, in my what do you call that? The analytics. It shows that most are not subscribed, but they keep viewing. So please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell, liking, sharing the link far and wide on all social media platforms. Maybe there's others out there who have similar moments in life. And, you know, it's encouraging sometimes to speak to someone or to hear someone speak about these things and be like, yeah, I get it. Like, I've been there. I've done that, right? We go through these moments. Let me find something here. I'm going to open up my my browser. I want to seek for a Bible verse here. Yeah. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. We got all kinds of verses now in regards to like patience, in regards to keeping being self-controlled, right? Let me see here. Well, if I got my Bible right in front of me, maybe I can think of something here. And again, when it comes to these, there are more severe moments in life, I assure you, than spilled milk moments. But that doesn't make the spilled milk moments difficult. Like, just because it's spilled milk category stuff doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt or doesn't cause, you know, a bit of ruckus, if you will. It does. Like, it, you know, causes concern, no doubt. Where was it now? I think it may be in Galatians. I'm going to look for Galatians. Oh, here's James. James is good too. James is really good. Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you are surrounded by various trials, right, and temptations. Well, that verse has utility, obviously, even to the spilled milk category of conversation, because we have to learn and train our thoughts through the Scriptures and the practice of the Scriptures to train our mind when we are surrounded by all sorts of temptations. That same day, the griddle breaks, our cooking tool breaks, and somebody steals our package from Amazon, like in the same day. And it's kind of like, it spilled milk, but I was very tempted. We were very tempted to behave in non-Christian ways, or to allow it to bring us into so much discouragement that we're not productive in our day anymore. Even the spilled milk moments. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. It develops perseverance. It develops the strength and patience necessary to persevere. So we are surrounded by temptations. Some days of a higher measurement than others, no doubt. But we are surrounded by temptations. Temptations to practice lawless things. Temptations to think and speak lawless ways. We are tempted to react to spilled moments in a way that Jesus would not authorize. But when we are capable of going through those spilled milk moments with proper Christ-like behavior, then it trains us for the next time to be able to do the same, more so organically. Okay? And of course, if we can train ourselves to do that with spilled milk moments, then that facilitates a better perseverance to deal with the very, very heavy stuff. You know, decaying health conditions, disease, death, separation from our loved ones, natural disasters, being the recipient of evil workers or murderers, things like that. So you can see from one spectrum to the next level of spectrum and everything in between, the utility of the Scriptures teaching us how to learn this joy. Well, what's the joy to be learned? Well, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance, so it develops perseverance. It supports a confidence, okay, within us to deal with these things. And let endurance, it says, have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Consistency, dependability. You can be dependable even through these very tempting moments. Like, pretty much, if you are a business owner, if you are an employer and you are seeking employees, you want employees, and depending on the level of the workforce and the task at hand, you want them to have a high measurement of these instructions. You want them to have endurance, to have the consistency of dependability, loyalty, fidelity, trust, and support, and confidence, and all these things. Okay? The reason it's joy is because it's teaching us something. It's allowing us insight and wisdom and patience and suffering long, and it's teaching us how to be more productive for our Lord and Master as legal citizens of His kingdom. That's what it's doing. And that's a beautiful thing, no doubt. That's a beautiful thing, no doubt. So, as we wind down this session, I got to get myself ready. I'm gonna be cooking a shepherd's pie today. Some wonderful Hamburg. We found a meat shop, a butcher, not too far from our new location here, and it's wonderful. The food is just awesome, and the prices are right, and they're very kind. So I got some Hamburg. I got ourselves some beef, and I'm gonna chop up some onions. I'm gonna fry that all up and mash some potatoes, get some cream corn, make a beautiful shepherd's pie. That's the idea. That's the plan. So, hey, listen, you share some of your spilled milk moments, how you dealt with it. Share those things if you want to. Share this link far and wide. Generate conversation with it. We can deal with these things maturely. We certainly can learn how to persevere through them. But let's not lose our cool and enter into the realm of unrighteous anger or create core traumatic memories in our family or children, because the way they see mom and dad deal with stuff, is a strong influence upon their minds on how they're going to be dealing with stuff. If spilled milk is cause for an outburst of unrighteous anger, and we're flipping tables and we're throwing chairs out of the windows and we're violently assaulting each other, or, if it's just a house of disorder over spilled milk, then imagine how they're going to deal with stuff when it comes to, the real serious stuff. The real serious stuff. Persecution for our faith in Christ. Loss of loved ones. Disease and death. Natural disasters. Tyrannical, corrupt governments. Oppression. Slavery. Famine. I mean, you name it. It's all on this earth, recorded time and time again in history. I mean, if they can't deal with spilled milk properly, it's going to be hard going for everything else coming around. And it's a difficult thing when we find ourselves in a weak generation of self-entitled, ego-driven, prideful individuals who they don't know how to live life. It's going to be difficult. You and I, we're Christians. We're learning how to be different. We're going to do that. All right, friends, stay focused, stay positive. You are indeed appreciated and loved. Please consider signing up to addedsouls.locals.com. You can sign up to our location there, our community over there, and you can support the work monthly over there. There's the PayPal option, addedsouls@gmail.com. You can certainly have a physical address. If you reach out to me, we can have a phone call or a video chat or email exchange, stuff like that. I labor alongside the East Coast Church of Christ over here on the East Coast of Canada. And you can check out our .com, eastcoastchurchofchrist.com, or our Facebook page, East Coast Church of Christ. Stefan Maya is my name, and addedsouls.com is the website. Good stuff? All right. Peace out.